one of the ways is they have a lot of the state legislatures. So they send in their goons to pass a law saying, no, that's it. Officially from now on in Michigan, obviously the correct percentage reporting for an election is not 100% anymore. It is 68%. Once you reach 68%, everybody knows you stop counting. In fact, we just passed a law saying you must stop counting at 68%. I don't know, you think it's not possible? I think there's some chance. It wouldn't necessarily be framed that way, but it'll be framed some way. They'll find the thinnest of reeds and that's all they need.
And more to your point, that is exactly, I mean, they don't need Roberts anymore because ACB is happening. But Roberts has said that. If your states deal with it in the state way, who am I to stop it? Now, Wisconsin, Michigan have Democratic governors.
So does Pennsylvania.
And Pennsylvania, okay. So I don't know how, do they have to sign off on this? Or is it a rules vote? I don't know. Does it come out of committee and is there a small, I don't know exactly that process, but that's what they're gonna try to do.
Yeah, so let's take Georgia. Georgia's super important to who wins potentially, right? Well, Kemp is the guy who cheated by erasing voters from the rolls when he was Secretary of State so he could win the governor's race. You think that guy's gonna have any principles or any reservations about stealing the election from Trump? They have their legislature and they have the governor. So at this point, even though Biden is favored to win Georgia, but that doesn't factor in the stealing. So the robbery is probably in process as we speak, in progress as we speak in Georgia. Now, what they do in all the states that have Republican legislatures but Democratic governors, God help us.
Well,
yeah, and then I love that sorry, go ahead, JR.
I was just under that scenario. Then we're talking about these Democratic governors and these Republican control over the state in their own way. Okay, since we're going doomsday, since you decided to pose this whole segment as that, Cenk, fine. What's our thought process or guarantee on whether or not these Democratic governors aren't going to say, well, let's let the courts decide this. Yeah, you know, I mean, it is the state legislators. They are saying what they want to do. We talk about the weakness of Democrats that are in power. We talked about when, I think it was in North Carolina, when the new governor came in, and then the Republicans in the state Congress just took over and stripped him of all of his power before he even got a chance to sit down in the governor's mansion. All this happens, and then we talk about it, we get frustrated by it, and then point it out and call them hypocrites, and then they go ahead and do it anyway. So again, all of this is part of the plan. They knew people would hear this ridiculous speech and say, this is crazy, you can't do that. They had a contingency plan for that too. Then to say, well, no, I can do what I want. You know why he says he can do it? That doesn't make any sense, by the way. It seems like such an elementary response. But what was his elementary response to, where's your healthcare plan? It's right here on these blank pages. What was his response to, hey, COVID? Over 237,000 Americans have died. No, it's not that big of a deal. To this wall that Mexico was gonna build. Nope, it's being built. Shut up. To the swamp that you've drained. No, we've totally drained the swamp. Let's continue draining the swamp. To every time a reporter breaks out something about, say, his tax returns that he's not filing, or the numbers behind the money that he owes across the world to foreign entities, fake news. The fact that there's 1 to 2 word answers to everything that's actually a big deal with this administration, and they've just moved on. After people, by the way, all 6 of those things that I point out, people were outraged. They said, oh my God, can you believe he said and did that? And afterwards, they went, okay, so on to the next. That's the expectation. He's a creature of habit. He's been the way his entire life. He says something, people go, that's crazy, and he does it anyway.
The more I think about it, reflecting back in hindsight to the Pence portion of that speech, Pence was super uncomfortable. So I wonder if that's an indication of, at some point, other Republicans get uncomfortable, or if that's an indication of, who cares if they're uncomfortable, they're gonna do it anyway.
Here's my version of the Michael scenario about maybe it's even better if, when really it's not, but I identifying with that is, so then do you hope, like, so what do you want to corner them? I do, I don't care. But like, do you want to corner McConnell? Like, it's gonna be McConnell and Pence looking at each other going like, if we keep the Senate, we have a strategy for 50 years. I can handle 2 until we get the House back after we blame it on Biden. But I can't advocate for stopping this many votes in this many states. Florida, 400, 1,000 votes maybe. But right now, he wants to, Michigan, 69% nice with 3.7 million votes cast. That is precisely like 1 million votes they just are gonna not count in one state with a harder path than the Bush-controlled Florida in 2000. Like,
yeah,
are they gonna say that's gonna get too much blood on my hands? If we keep the Senate, I'm gonna be fine. I'll just wait 2 years and I still have a ton of procedural advantages, tactical procedural advantages at my disposal, which has been the center and essence of Republican power over the last 12 years.
Yeah. So first, I want to tell you one of the last things Donald Trump said on the campaign stunt was to the Pennsylvania governor, quote, "We're watching you." Thanks for watching the Young Turks. Really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.